Okay, okay. Okay. Wait. Yes, I got to.
Has minimized their application.
Minimize their application. Oh, he's talking to someone else. Ruthless HYPE. Yeah. And you can see the Discord. Just swipe up, and you will see teams are in in their respective face cam. Check on Discord. Like you can swipe up a little bit and go down. You will see Invitational Pro League face cam. Teams are getting ready there with their face cams. Yeah. ID password in 10 minutes. Who's giving address to someone actually? Hacker. Can let me create the room now. हाँ लाइव स्टार्ट कर दो तो. हाँ लाइव. Okay. Not yet. Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
When I say I can't see.
Okay. No issue. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Again, I still can't see the. I can't see the.
Yeah. He will come in 2-3 minutes. Just wait for 2-3 minutes. Currently, only video is playing, so no issue.
Is it possible to get like this slot list for each game of what team is in what number?
Yeah. Wait 1 second. Like you can see in the no. Wait. Let me send it. Like the slot list is same, okay? Like we aren't changing numbers.
Okay, so every single team is in the exact same slot.
Yes. Exact. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Exactly.
I like that. The only
you.
thing I'm certain of is fucking team tags.
Famous is on, damage 1.2, save zone 1, start time 180, weak information on.
The various format.
In the admin chat, can you check please?
Yes. Okay.
हाँ नोट करा था 80%. रेडी हो गया बनाने वाला रूम. In 3 minutes है सिमरी का. हाँ yeah. Room is ready. I'm inviting you, boss. Done. Simrika, note please.
Yes, I'm typing.
2029
2029
477.
477
Yeah. Password is LIPL capital.
LIPL. दिले
ठीक है।
format वाली की बात है।
हाँ okay. That's fine.
Oh wow, we are going to 2200 members.
2200 members.
Mm.
Wait. Hey, on Discord.
Mm. For YouTube. अरे टाइम हो गया पूजा के साथ। Little cut.
बत्ती चाइना ऐसा को
ऐसे वो आज नहीं चलती मतलब कोई को 32 देने वाला होगा इन्हें पालवरी पानी पर।
तो उसका कैसे है हैकर 2 का कैसे है
मीर में था इनो 32
हैकर 2 में टच कोड
हेलो
हाँ सही नहीं है स्ट्रीम में क्या
आवाज आ रही है
मैंने
तो यहाँ का ओके लेट मी शिफ्ट हैकर टू डाउन साउंड में जा रहा था साउंड डिफेंड कर दिया हाँ सो
लाइट में आवाज गई
वो कह रहे हैं सेलिना बोले
So I go to capture DC.
नो नेपाली कास्टर ये नेपाली कास्ट
I don't see it. I only see interview section.
हाँ
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational event. My name is Imperium. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to cast this wonderful event that's bringing 24 ladies teams from across the Southeast Asia and South Asia region together for one tournament over the next 2 weekends. I'm gonna show you everything that's gonna come. I'm super hyped. I'm excited. It's early in the morning for me, but I'm full of energy and I'm ready to give it my all for these ladies teams. It's absolutely kick-ass. All of these 24 teams have pretty much gone through their own region's qualification phase, and now they made it. This is going to be one of the first times that a lot of these ladies are kind of facing up against each other or facing up against each other in an international tournament. At least this is pretty big in my eyes. Let's go straight to the roadmap at least to kind of show what we have coming up for you guys. Well, yeah, over the next coming weeks. The lobby started, so we are going to be getting into the game pretty quickly. Week 1, we're going to have 28th, 29th. That's today and tomorrow. You're going to have the 3 groups of 8 teams each going to be facing up against each other. Then they'll go into Super Weekend, and it's going to be the same next week. So the 24 teams are qualifying over the next 2 days to make it into the Super Weekend, so that kind of PMPL, PMGC level of skill is going to be required. So I'm really super hyped to bring you the action. Real quickly, before we get into the game, can we just show, in terms of at least the Group A and Group B, just for the time being? It's fine. I'll be able to describe the playing path even if we go in a little bit late. But let's get into this game. There you go. So you can see the first playing path is on our screens. It is going from pretty much the west to the northeast, so that's definitely a little bit of a trickier playing path if you're heading towards the military island, Novo areas, maybe even kind of Milta Power. It's going to be a little bit tricky. The 16 teams that are playing in this first game are as follows: 88 ladies, 3M girls, you have Unfaedah, Blackswan, Infinity Ladies, Street Ready, Yocto, Victor Gaming, OGX 20p, Capital 9 Axe, Voin, 88 girls, Valdus, Eufrosine, See You Soon, Party Goddess, Soul Reaper, Veteran of Death, and Gorkhali Warrior. So that's a pretty good start in terms of where these teams that are playing for this first game. As far as drop spots that we're seeing so far, definitely see a couple of teams heading towards the South George area for the time being. Definitely a little bit of a early split drop coming out from the Unfaedah Blackswan team from Indonesia. We're gonna have a team close by, but this first playing path is definitely going to be important. Don't forget to throw your love and support in the chat for the team that you are supporting. See, the Valdus ladies are heading into Pachinki, which is a very central map drop spot. And yeah, let's see. This first phase 1 circle is on the northwestern side of the should I say the southwestern side of the map. Pretty standard kind of map in terms of very standard kind of circle in phase 1 that you like to see. It opens up the likes of the Gaka quarry area for the teams to kind of hold on to for the time being. And with the teams that are dropping in around the Stalbar Komeshki area, it's going to be a lot more challenging for them to enter into this phase 1 circle. They're going to have relatively a lack of information for the time being, and it's definitely going to be a little bit more challenging for them. Capital 9 Axe, they have a lovely 4-person spread in the Gaka region for the time being. What's really great about that is they're able to loot up the kind of mini compounds around the Gaka area, but it's going to be important because of the phase 1 entering in their vicinity that they do group up together as a full squad pretty quickly, or at least as a core 2-2-3-1 split, because if they leave it too late on this phase 1, they could have a player go down, a player 2 go down early on against a team sweeping into the circle. So it's definitely something that they'll need to think about as you get through this phase 1. Still curious about the side of Party, who are dropping in the Party Goddess from side of Mongolia. Love to see Mongolian representatives in the ladies tournament. At least in the male, they've proven to be absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping it's the exact same in the lady scene. They've dropped in Primorsk. So their rotation into phase 1 should be probably prioritizing the Northern Quarry hillside, maybe a little bit to the east of that, and how they set themselves up. And we'll have to wait and see how it kind of works out for them. And the timing of the rotation is very important. The phase 1 is starting to close in now. So for them, it's very much about looking to rotate early. Despite already being in the circle, you want to take advantage of that. Voin 88 ladies are close by in a bit of a 4-person spread between Ferry Pier and the Ferry Pier Hill. A little bit similar to the side of Capital 9 Axe. It's important that they join up as a full squad early on. Teams are still looting as phase 1 is starting to close in. And you can see that the side of Royal Eternity bloodrain is I think that's Royal Eternity bloodrain. Maybe it's not, but I think so. But 88 ladies now looting up and around the RUxHYPE area. They can rotate through Headshot Hills and move into the compound that's just to the west of Headshot Hills. It won't give them that much information on the western side of the map, but it at least will give them a good anchor point and possibly allow them to pick up a kill or two on teams shifting in from the eastern side of the map. I'm expecting a very passive early game in this game 1. It's pretty common at the first game of a tournament or the first game of a day in a new tournament that a lot of these teams are going to just take their time, feed each other out. Again, this is one of the first times, if not the first time, a lot of these teams are facing up against international competition in an international tournament. So it's a big deal, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on them. Even though it might not be super consciously, it's definitely going to be subconsciously. So that's going to possibly shift their mentality. They also might not be fully aware of drop spots, rotation path lines. So that's why taking their time is going to be more important. Infinity ladies, 3 in a try. That's not a good idea. It's not even the best vehicle to use for 1 person in it, never mind 3. So let's hope they can find multiple vehicles for them to use. 3M girls from Vietnam starting to move out themselves. Yeah, that worries me about the Infinity ladies, but let's see what they can gather as they move out as a 3-person team. They've left 1 behind. Feels bad, man. At least we know who's the who's the lone wolf of the team with that one. But yeah, as they look to move into the circle, hopefully their 4th player will be able to join up in due time. I love the spread from Valdus. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce the second part of their team name. I should have actually confirmed that. I think it's Valdus Eufrosine. It's a very tricky one to pronounce. I might just call them Valdus, to be honest. Especially in the heat of battle. But I really like their position. I love their spread between Pachinki Hill and the southern part of that. Because as a 2-2 split, it allows them to grab a lot of valuable information from the Pachinki Hill, and then they have their compound down the hill, which is not too far away from the rest of the team. So it will allow them to join up should one of them be engaged. We've seen the first knock come through though, which is pretty good. The first kill has been executed. Seems like there's a battle in the blue, and the two teams that dropped in the Stalbar Kameshki area are interacting with each other upon a rotation. Vanilla throws out a smoke, might look to go for the revive, but that's going to be easier said than done. If you're going to go for the revive, you need to have another player on top of that hill providing that suppressing fire, and that seems to be the case. Purple OG only has one first aid. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. On the side of 2 OP Esports. So they might look to disengage away from this. They've lost a player, so they're down to 3 purple, Vicky and Yankee. I like that. It's often pretty easy to disengage down the hill of Stalbar with how many different levels are on board. So the fact that they're able to pull that off is pretty valuable. For SYS, they'll take it. They'll take the kill and they'll move on, being able to keep themselves up as a full squad. However, the rotation has been delayed. And phase 2, it did center up. It didn't continue down the southwest. It centered up so that a lot of the mainland is in play, and it's not going to be too hard for them to enter into the kind of northeastern side of the circle. Capital 9 Axe now, they're looking for the engagement against the side of YCT. Mickey chucks in a nade. Your teammate is close by. They're looking to sweep around. This is what I talked about around Capital 9 Axe joining together fairly early on. Great rotation from Scarlet, looking for a flank on the side, going to use a dip to her advantage. You have one on the roof, which is risky in itself, so that's why it's going to be important for Scarlet to really provide that suppressing fire. On top of the roof of the building that the rest of the team are in, talking about creating distraction with the audio cues, and that's a double nade knock from the side of Capital 9 Axe sweeping. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare an engagement war, and that is Capital 9 Axe going to get the first squad wipe of the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. Let's go. 4 kills right off the bat, not wasting any time at all. You absolutely love to see that. That engagement was crisp. They held the angles. They held them in one building. It's very hard to defend from one building inside a tiny little compound like that. But the fact that there was nobody on the outskirts to provide any kind of clapback for Capital 9 did make it a lot easier. Just really so good from Capital 9. I'm very, very impressed with their aggression in the early parts of this game. It automatically creates a lot more space around them as well. There wasn't anybody really centered near them outside of the opposing team. So for the time being, we'll have to wait and see who looks to join up in the vicinity of Gaka in phase 3 onwards. Still a lot of teams on the edge of circle. That passive play style for game 1 is once again shining through, as I talked about. So what makes that aggression from Capital 9 Axe just that little bit more impressive, right? Because it came out of nowhere, and it's like, yes, 12 minutes in, we've had our first squad wipe. Voin 88. They are looking good on the hill just to the southwest of Gaka. My apologies. It's a really good spot for them to hold on to. 3M girls. Seems like they're not really sure where they want to go. Lulu is on her own. The rest of the team are down by the north of Quarry, so I get that we're getting into the end of phase 2, but if you're trying to scout and prepare for phase 3, honestly, you should have done that much earlier in the phase 2 circle, because teams will have already be settled around you in phase 2. So you driving around, scouting somewhere to go is incredibly risky, and you felt the wrath of that as a barrage of bullets headed in her direction. But now we're getting into phase 3. And it's going to be a central shift on this phase 3 in the wonderful kind of Chop 6, Gatka, North Quarry area. You have a lot of compounds in play, so I expect teams to kind of rush in there in due time. And this is a great response from the Infinity ladies. Full squad into one compound together. Gonna have to be careful as Berlin gets knocked down. Nice by Lulu from 3M. She was on her own, but now is joined closer to the rest of her team. And she joined up with the rest of the team. And they might want to look to go for this fight, or just know that they're suppressing the side of Infinity. Ladies, there's going to be another team joining in on the mix. That is 88 ladies. Going to hear the shots and possibly be able to third party this in the right direction. This will of course put a little bit more pressure on Infinity. It could create a distraction. If 88 ladies get a knock into one of the 3M girls, then that could definitely allow Infinity to pull something off. And that's kind of what happened. One of the 3M girls has been knocked down. And Capital 9 Axe, I love it. I absolutely love it. No fear, just fight, but just a little bit too deep on your own. Gets knocked out in the open. The rest of the team going to look to join Super. Cecil gets knocked down as well. Oh no, I respect the aggression, but it's going from bad to worse for the Capital 9 Axe ladies. Maybe you could have done a little bit of pre-scouting, because you're not just looking at one team. There's another 2 around you that can third party, and not a knock on the Scarlet. It's gone horribly wrong for the Capital 9 Axe ladies. Hopefully, Scarlet can crawl back to her teammate. But I can't see Capital 9 Axe surviving for too much longer. GW Michigo gets knocked down. Meow, meow. Myron's low in health. Shuva gets knocked down there. Facing up against his team in the compound outside of Hencha Hills. It's not in the circle, so time is imperative. A nice free knock through the side of the building from Meow Meow, keeping our team alive. 2 together to get another knock through the window. This is coming down to 2v1 or 2v2 as far as I know. That's going to be the 3rd knock. 1 more left. The squad wipe is executed. And more importantly for GW, Gorkhali Warriors from Nepal, that's going to keep them up as a full squad. Yes, time is ticking down on the phase 3 blue zone, hitting their bodies. But in my eyes, that's a victory for them. They're going to have to take it easy, sending it into phase 4. Maybe even wait for the phase 4 shift. But that was a nice engagement, a nice survival from the side of Gorkhali Warriors. They turned that fight around wonderfully. Great pre-fire shots through the side of the building. Composure on the window play. Beautiful. Capital 9 Axe, Mickey. And I love how aggressive Capital 9 Axe are. It may not be the best, and it may have been a little bit kind of obviously risky, which it was, but I just love the aggression from Capital 9 Axe. Absolutely love to see it. Settle down a little bit, 88 ladies on the 3M. You're seeing that trade, the phase 4 shift to the east. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Infinity ladies. Compound Valdus is on the hill to the south. They have a lot of area around under control. Will anyone else join them on the hill? There's a few teams down the south that could encroach on the Valdus' space. Whereas Valdus do need to be careful on the teams that are to the north of them. At the compound, their focus needs to be protecting the South Hillside. You have Voin, 88 ladies from Indonesia coming in from the west to encroach on their space, but they're going to have possibly a team entering in from outside the circle. Still 14 teams left, 51 players, 70 minutes into the game. It's part of that passive game 1 that I was expecting to see, but I have been impressed from the few engagements that we've seen so far in this game. Infinity moved into this compound, I believe, on phase 2. We're in phase 4. They still hold on as a full squad, covering their ground, covering their area. GW, who got the squad wipe earlier on and had to come in through the blue, are encroaching and blasting through the edge of the circle to get a knock and a kill on the Mickey of Capital 9 Axe. That's the way you play the edge of circle. You have to fight your way in. It's do or die from phase 4 onwards. No fear, just fight. Play it calculated, of course. Get the relevant amount of information, but you got to be open to creating the sprays on board through the chopsticks. The players from GM are going to send it in. It's a bit of a pinch of a position to come in. It's very narrow. You don't have really too much room to breathe, but it is going to be a little bit of an out of sight, out of mind entry point into this phase 4 circle. So I get why they're pulling it off. Valdus, gotta be careful. Berlin's taking shots with the M16 in your direction. Nice proactivity from Infinity. Can't give any kind of room to the teams around you, no matter where they are. You see a body, you take those shots, you peek out that window, you suppress the teams around them. They already know that you're there. Why not make some noise around the areas? The phase 5 shifts up and it goes right on top of the hill. There's one team in the center, and that's going to be easier to deal with. Harder to deal with than you will think, as TSR suffers a knock. You see Valdus, they have one member knocked down. Their hill wasn't really controlled by them so much. They maybe weren't as proactive or aggressive as I kind of like to see them. And you have Party looking to control. Party Goddess from Mongolia controlling the center of the circle. So all the teams on the east are going to have a hell of a job to enter into the edge of the circle, and I expect a good few third parties to come into play. 40 seconds until the blue zone starts to close in. Eric from SR down. That leaves one player left up for their side. The Shack TSR doing their best to hold things down. GW on the kill feed doing a wonderful job onto another set of ladies, getting the squad outs across the board, and Valdus being put under pressure by Party Goddess. Great control of the circle from Party Goddess. I want to see them in the kill feed. Yes, they don't need to have a massive spread, but they do need to be looking, shooting in all directions around them. The revive onto Benjamin will keep her alive, and it'll keep Valdus up as a full squad. Voin 88 in the kill feed onto the 88 ladies. The namesake team, but certainly not friends in the heat of the battle, as GW Meow Meow gets knocked down. The rest of the team are still going strong into the circle, entering. No fear, just fight, just full send it across the board. They enter in, they breach, they look for the shots on the Valdus, but gets knocked down, and Michiko goes down. I think that's the whole of GW wiped out of this game. 14 teams left, 37 players alive. 3M now gonna enter in through phase 6, which shifts once again to the East. Infinity responding accordingly. The wild shifts to put a lot of hurt and damage on the western sides of this map. So far, Valdus, Jinsik knocked down, so is Summer Sky, and Benjamin still going in through the smoke. The Revive is going to be looked to play it out, but 3M are still in the midst waiting for an opportunity. Chan holding it down, looking for her first save, but no, she can't pull it off, but she hasn't been spotted quite yet, and down she goes. Great response from Valdus. That's another kill for them, but they're going to have a tough task to make it into phase 6, I tell you that much. 88 ladies holding it down. They have a team close by. DG, they're eliminated. Down they go. Party hard, play hard, game hard, win hard for the Party Goddess side as they look to maybe capture this game 1 of the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. This is day 1 of the league play. All of these teams are looking to fight for their spot in the Super Weekend. The top 16 of the 24 teams will make it through, so having a good start in this game is going to be incredibly important and valuable. Veteran of Death trying to hold things down. You have the kill feed lining up. Valdus still holding out. They have been able to find a breach, and for God's sake, they've been able to also keep themselves up as a full squad. This is absolutely fantastic. Wazan, the last player up for a side, and through the shack, finds a knock on the Party. Boom goes the dynamite. Party, you just got bamboozled. Idle solo survivor. 4 teams left, whittled down just like that. Thanos snapped into infinity as they're still going. Party looking for the nade onto the lone survivor inside the shack. The circle does shift up north. It's in favor of Veteran of Death from Nepal. I remember commentating the 7 Nepal teams back in 2019 PMCO Spring Split Wildcard region, and I fell in love with the country from them. The support in chat back then was amazing, and it hasn't died down. So to see ladies teams from Nepal playing in this invitational is definitely putting a smile on my face, as seeing all these ladies play, of course. Absolutely incredible to see this competition flowing through. Victim, Veteran of Death, should I say, waiting out. They have the circle, but they don't have the spread compared to Infinity. Infinity looking for Party Goddess, and that's where that spread, keeping one player on the outside of the circle close to the blue, is so valuable for their late game control. It leaves Party Goddess down to 1. Kylie going strong, and down they go in the smoke. Veteran of Death, 6 kills in this game, but they have lost 1. It's a 4v3. 1 on the north, 1 on the south. The final 2 teams of game 1 in this Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. The spread from Infinity is so valuable, but they also have to thread with caution. Because as much as they look to control this circle, they're going down a bit of a dip, and the low ground of the dip does give the slight advantage of Veteran of Death. But it's also important that Veteran of Death don't be too passive. Yes, use the low ground to your advantage, but don't allow Infinity to get control. I'm looking at Suz. Suz should be the one that's more on that side angle to play it forward and push in on the side to get an initial knock. Yes, Veteran of Death are pretty sure that it's just 2 teams left, and they know they have the body disadvantage, so playing is going to be incredibly important. And Mimics open things up to knock on the side. We're into a 3v3 unless a revive is pulled off. Where is Suffit? Suffit's flanking around. He's going to make some noise. It's now or never. Mimic gets a knock on the Palmy. That's going to be a confirmation. And now on the side, Suffit comes in, gets a knock, gets a kill. We're left with a 2v2 and knock on board. That's going to be a trade. It's a 1v1 between Baby Doll and Berlin, but I think Berlin is going for the revive to put it into a 2v1, just as Baby Doll is going for the revive on the Suz. This is such a close finish to game 1. The tension is building. It's now or never for both of these teams. All the while, the Phase 8 is getting closer to the all-elusive last circle. The final moments. Both of these teams doing everything they can in their power to secure this chicken dinner. We're back to a 3v2. That's going to be a nade. Another one being thrown out by Baby Doll. They're together, but they don't really have control. Berlin pushing forward. Baby Doll gets a knock on the soft. Oh my lord, that's incredibly important. There's no trade. Baby Doll stands up. The footsteps will be heard. FPP mode for Berlin, ready to deal the bullets. The sprays in through the smoke. Anything. Just a simple connect of a bullet will be an indication of where one of the last players, the Veterans of Death, are in this game. One is knocked. Just now one behind the wall. Baby Doll is left standing. It's going to get one knock, but on the side, Infinity ladies come on board to get the final kill. And that is a chicken dinner for Infinity ladies from Thailand, coming in strong in game number 1. They held on to that compound outside of Chop 6 from phase number 2. And when we saw that kind of shift away, I was worried about them, because entering into the hillside from that compound is quite tricky. But man, did they do it. They did it so so well, and they controlled that late game extremely valuably. The fact that they had that massive spread, I think it was on phase 6 onwards, was so important because it allowed them to suppress I forget exactly who it was. I think it was the oh my god, I forget. I think it was Victor Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, but the third team in the game that was kind of possibly, say it was Party Goddess, my apologies, Party Goddess, there you go, that we're looking to maybe have a bigger impact. And because of Infinity's positioning, that spread just allowed them to control that game really well. And gotta say, for game 1, yes, we had some early passive play, but the engagements that came out were definitely good. Very, very good across the board. You know, the early game aggression from from Capital 9 Axe to get the first squad wipe was brilliant. Yes, they continued to be aggressive, but maybe not as calculated on that aggression, and they paid the price, suffering 2 kills, but it's one of those things that they'll learn from in the future games. Once again, this is the first time we're really seeing a lot of these ladies teams come up against each other in an international tournament. So there's a lot to be learned throughout the 2 days, not just this game 1, but moving on forward. We're going to see a lot more teams shine, especially when you include the third group that's going to be coming into play. So yeah, I'm extremely impressed with what I've seen so far for game 1. That win by Infinity was very much deserved, but Veteran of Death, the will to survive in that last fight, I don't think they could have played that any better. When they know they had the body disadvantage, it's so tricky because you can't step out too far. You can't at all, to be fair. You cannot at all. Insane. Absolutely insane. We are just waiting for the results to come up so we can show you the stats, give you a bit of information, at least from a number standpoint of course, the points that all of these teams gathered, because there was a decent bit of action. Not gonna lie, I was like, wait, how many kills did this team get? How many kills did that team get? I can't tell you that Infinity did get 7 kills with that chicken dinner. So did Veteran of Death. They got 7 kills with their second place. So both of these teams technically probably really needed the chicken dinner, because those extra 3 placement points really can make up for a 7-kill game. You know, because normally when you're looking for a chicken dinner, a 10+ kill game is really like optimal, whereas when it's under 10, that chicken dinner can really kind of, you know, make up for that for the lack of kills. Fantastic. Let's move over to the team stats of Infinity Ladies, so we can show you at least in terms of how many points they got, how many kills. You can see 22 points so far. Total points, of course, is still only 22 because, hey, we're only 1 game into this Ruthless Ladies Invitational. So 7 kills, they'll take first. It was a great performance. Let's have a look at the kill leaderboard for this game 1, though, so we can have a bit of a better idea on who else stood out in this game number 1 of the day. Mimic, 6 kills for her team. I hope her back is okay, because that carry, you know, it must be sore from carrying the rest of her team. Obviously a joke when I say that. It is always a team effort, and even if one player gets the majority of the kills, you need to have that support to set up those kills, and indeed that would have been the case. Veteran of Death, Mimic getting 6 kills. Victoria of Party Goddess getting 5 kills. 55% kill distribution. It was a really good kill game from the side of Party Goddess, finishing in 3rd. And then you can see Infinity Ladies having 2 players in the top kill leaders with Palmy and Soft. So that's really good coming out from them. And then Cecil from C9, from Capital 9 Axe, getting 3 kills. really good from her, despite the team kind of going out somewhat early. But let's have a look at the match standings for this game one, so we can see who really had good and unfortunately who had a bad game, to be fair. Infinity Ladies, 22 points. Veteran of Death with 19. Party Goddess with 19. And that's the thing. You know, when you have that third place, yes, you'd prefer to get the win or you prefer to finish second. But Party Goddess knew they had to control that hillside, and grabbing 9 kills is so good. It really balances out the 10 placing points that they got. So you have the top 3. I know it's only game 1, but the top 3 divided by 3 points is so good. Valdus in 4th with 12. Unfaedah, Blackswan with 11. And Gorkhali Warriors with 7. Let's move on to the second page, though, so we can see who really kind of didn't have the best of results. 88 Ladies with 4. Voin, 88 Girls with 4. Capital Line Axe, that early aggression was great, but 0 placing points meant they only got 4 points. One team getting 0 points, Yocto. It's not what you want to see, but there's many more games to go. You got tomorrow's league play games. Anything can happen. Yes, 8 teams from the 24 in total will not make it to the first Super Weekend, but at the end of the day, there's still a chance. There's absolutely a chance for these teams to make it. If you've had one bad game, you got to kind of, in the words of Taylor Swift, just shake it off. Shake it off. Ha ha. I know. I'm such a boomer. It's great. But yeah, 100%. You got to kind of shake it off and just get into the game and focus on the present, focus on the future of the games that you have still left to make a difference. So we're only 1 game down. We've got many more games to go. I'm really looking forward to this game too, because I've had a taste of what is very much capable in the lady scene of this Ruthless HYPE International Pro League Invitational. And I really can't wait to see more. So I think we'll go for a bit of a break, and then we will see you guys in a couple of minutes for game number 2.
Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. fold it up, we gon' burn it down.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Ruthless Hype Ladies Invitational Pro League. My name's Imperium. We've had one game down. We've many more to go today, many more to go across the next 2 weeks. To be fair, this is a fantastic invitational tournament. Let's take you through the teams that are playing in this invitational because of just the craziness getting into game one. Didn't really get to show you that, and all these ladies deserve to be featured heavily. So starting from the start, you have 88 ladies coming in from the side of Indonesia. Then you have 3M girls from Vietnam, Unfaedah, Blackswan also from Indonesia. And then you have Infinity ladies from Thailand. And Street Ready from Nepal, Yocto and Victor Gaming, both of those teams representing Mongolia. You have 2OPXOG from the side of India. So Sakura Yankee, and then you have onwards. You have Capital 9, Axe, Voin, 88 girls, both of those teams from Indonesia. Valdus, of course, from Thailand. You have See You Soon, Elemental, the only team from Cambodia. So it's great to see a Cambodian team. I didn't even really know if there was a PUBG mobile scene in Cambodia. So I'm super hyped about seeing that team played. And you have Party Goddess, the Soul Reapers, Veteran of Death, and Gorkhali Warriors. 3 of those teams from Nepal, 1 from Mongolia. Then you have Victim Reapers, Royal Eternity, Bloodrain, E365, Powerpuff, and Myron, Orion. All 4 of those teams from Indonesia. Then you have Art of Teamwork, Ruthless HYPE, Killer Krew on Rampage, and Strong Vault Girls, Mongolia, Nepal, 2 Nepal teams, and of course 1 other Indian team. You have 2 Indian invited teams, and then it goes on from there. So it's just fantastic to see all of these teams being represented. So once again, we'll go to the roadmap of what is to come over the next couple of weeks. And if you're not sure of the format, we start with the League 1 week play. So you have every single team playing 2 games a day. So you have A versus B, B versus C, A versus C, ERANGEL, SANHOK, MIRAMAR. Tomorrow you're going to have the same, A versus B, B versus C, A versus C, but it's going to be switching up. So of course we start with SANHOK, MIRAMAR, then ERANGEL. So every single team plays the same map twice, and it's pretty even. And then across the board, you then move on to the Super Weekend. The top 16 teams of the 24 from the league stage will move on to the Super Weekend. And then the points from the Super Weekend, they are the points that really matter. The league play points are reset from week 1 to week 2. They're just the qualifying points required to make it into the Super Weekend. Let's move on to the slot list to really show you a bit of an overview of what teams are in which group. So the first game we had was Group A and Group B. We're now moving on to Group B versus Group C. So it's going to be Capital 9, Axe, Voin, 88, Valdus. They're going up for the very first time in a different map against a Group C teams. Victim Reaper, Royal Eternity, bloodrain, E365, Powerpuff, Myron, Orion, Art of Teamwork, Ruthless HYPE, Girls, Killer, Krew, and Rampage, and Strong Vault Girls. So the first time these ladies are going to be present in the Ruthless HYPE Invitational Pro League, at least on this international setting. 20 seconds until we get into the game. The map of SANHOK is a very crazy map to deal with. It is. It's a very crazy map to deal with because the circles close in a little bit quicker. There's a lot less land mass available in the early circles. So it's important that if you're going to control your area, you do it very aggressively and very controllingly. Simple as that. The playing path is pretty heavily on the west, but it's not the worst playing path because of how small the SANHOK map is. To be fair, all these teams can pretty much make it in to wherever they want on SANHOK, wherever the playing path is. It might be a little bit harder. It might take a slightly extra bit of time if you want to drop on the east, Lakwai or Kampong. But other than that, it's going to be pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to be looking out on where teams are, of course, heading. Who's going to take control of boot camp? Seems like we're going to have 2 teams on the boot camp area, so it's going to be important to keep an eye on that fight. You have Capital 9, Axe, and Pina along with another team as well. So 2 teams boot camp, 2 teams Painan. SYS, Valdus, they're both on the boot camp area, and it's Valdus who suffered the first casualty. Let's see if we can head over to that boot camp fight, to be fair, to see what's going on. Valdus, 1 player down. SYS. Have to be very, very careful. Despite them having the player advantage, Valdus can still turn this around. Sky and Jenny SC doing what they can to provide a little bit of cover fire while their teammate joins up with them. That's a nice molly, though. Very nice molly. Disperses Jenny away from behind the rock or the boulder, whatever you want to call it. And if I was Valdus, to be honest, I'd disengage. I would disengage away from this, to be honest. The fight is breaking out in Painan between Capital 9 Axe. This fight in boot camp hasn't really been as heavy as I thought it was going to be. In Capital 9 Axe, they won the fight. Unfortunately, we missed it. 3 of their players knocked, and it seemed to be a bit of a clutch finish for, I believe, it was Cecil that was kept alive, and That's going to put Capital 9X up as 4 players in the early parts of the game with 4 kills. So that's a really good start once again for Capital 9X. But now they need to kind of use that to their advantage. 4 early kills will give them a lot of motivation. It seems like they're an aggressive team. Valdus have opened things up with a knock to one of the players of SYS. Now, it's important that they stay absolutely solid as a rock SYS. Don't let it get to their heads. Valdus all the while waiting around, biding their time. They know despite getting the knock, they still have a long way to go in this bootcamp battle. I will say that the phase 1 is on the western side of the map. It has mainly the Northwest Island in play with a good bit of the mainland and a good chunk of the Southwest Island around. So a trifecta compound stronghold is going to be extremely valuable. I see this side of E365 Powerpuff are around the trifecta compound area, so that's really good for them. And then they have Gempi on the bootcamp hill overlooking. The revive has, I believe, been played out between these two teams, and no, it's just about being played out. So that will look to keep SYS up as a full squad. In other areas of the map, so the KKR, Killer Krew on Rampage are on that kind of South Painan Hill, looking to move into the circle quite effectively. I really like that. Gempi's moving across on the on from Bootcamp Hill to the kind of join up with the rest of our team around the trifecta compound. It's not the trifecta compound they're holding on to, but it's the very first compound as you go for the trifecta compound to the Northwest Island. Ruthless HYPE, they are really holding an interesting 2-2 split on that bridge between the Northwest Island and the Southwest Island. It's a tricky area to really control. They're allowing the opposing team to get a little bit close and to spread out, use the coastline to their advantage, I would argue. So I don't think Ruthless HYPE have enough of a left to right spread. They're supporting each other, you know, forward to backwards, but it's not really a really big controlling spread. Let's see what Majestic can do. It's Haley waiting out. Timing is going to be important to have a little bit of trigger discipline, because as soon as she takes those shots, Friday and the rest of the crew are going to know exactly where they are. Myron, Orion. Still taking their time. Still taking their time. RE. Still moving out. Time's ticking as the phase 1 starts to close in. Haley has opened things up onto one of the Myron ladies. That's why I said the trigger discipline is going to be important. You played it out right, but I'd like to see Ruthless HYPE push on this a bit more aggressively. You can't get a knock and then just stagnate. Yes, you're suppressing your opponents, but are you really controlling them? Are you really controlling your position in the circle? I would argue no. I know it's only phase 1, but compared to, let's say, Capital 9X, who've shown a high level of aggression so far, that's something that I want to see. It's something that I want to see. So for Ruthless HYPE, I like that they're covering other areas around them with the fact that they made some noise. But Majestic, if you're going to be looking over the hill on yonder of the Myron players, you can't really be doing that on your own because there's going to be less point of you taking shots because they could get a counter knock and then you're on your own. There's less chance you're going to get revived or delaying time, and that's why she's backing away. So at least good decision from Majestic as phase 2 has shifted up north. And this is where Ruthless HYPE might be thinking, okay, well, let's just forget about it. For the time being, we'll move across the bridge. We'll allow them to get closer to the bridge, but we won't allow them to get across the bridge. Nice decision making based off the phase 2 shift from Ruthless HYPE. E365 Powerpuff. They have an important compound in the circle. And as you can see right now on your screens, the side of Veteran of Death had a fantastic showing in game number 1. They hold on to the mountain of SANHOK. I call it a Chungus mountain because it is such a giant piece of land that is hard to get under your control. But Veteran of Death, they're not afraid of it. They're not afraid of it at all. A lovely spread they have on board. This fight between SYS and Valdus is still starting to play out. Vanilla, Elt on the Jenny SC. They wait out and their patience is rewarded with another knock onto one of the Valdus ladies. Now they're trying to push in. Benjamin from Valdus holding down to the dip. Along with Sky together. They're going to look to try and disengage away. Maybe they should have disengaged earlier. But we'll have to wait and see. Party getting 1 kill so far. They hold on to the trifecta compound, which is great. But maybe a little bit too late within the first 2 circles. It is, of course, on to one of the Capital 9 Axe ladies, so that's good for them, and it's going to push Capital 9 Axe closer to the side of Myron by the bridge. Up in the very northern side of the circle, by the way, GW, they have a really great position right now, and opposite full squad, 0 kills. Maybe looking to send 1 player or 2 players scouting a little bit more south or a bit more to the west. That hillside in the west could be so good for them to grab information on the teams heading and rotating around the Camp Alpha area or the kind of western side of the mountain. And it seems like they could be doing that. But for the time being, they have a full squad there. Lovely botation from RE. I really like that. You're avoiding all the action. They've had 2 players sent in to begin with, just to create an anchor position for the remaining 2 coming in through a boat. And that's big brain play from RE. Really big brain play, and something that teams can learn from. You'd be surprised how many teams do not learn from that. So hope that is rewarded. Let's see where the next circle shift goes. Oh my lord. Oh, I feel sorry for these teams. It's the worst kind of circle shift that these teams could have asked for. It was looking so good for that Northwest Island, but now that massive shift to the east, you have all 3 islands in play. That trifecta compound for Party, it is prime real estate. As Capital 9 Axe, they get a kill onto one of the Myron players. Scarlet behind the rock is going to have to be careful about the nades going to be flying from the rest of the Myron crew. She's on her own behind that rock. No real cover directly behind her. Nade being thrown at Scarlet. Looks to get on top of the rock. Cecil now flanking around a little bit closer to her teammate. It's just the 2 players left from Capital 9 Axe. 5 kills so far in this game. They have 4 kills in the first 10 minutes or so. First 10, 12 minutes of game 1. They have 5 kills in the first 12 minutes of this game 2. This team is aggressive. Are they dangerously aggressive? Are they recklessly aggressive? That could definitely be put to them. However, I definitely prefer to see a bit more of a you know, dangerously aggressive team than a poorly passive team. I'll tell you that much. So, Capital 9 Axe, you have my vote of confidence. Scarlet looking to try and disengage away. Ruthless HYPE, they're in a bit of a tricky position, but they've been able to react to this circle shift extremely well. All three circle shifts, they've reacted very, very strongly, and I'm super excited to see the namesake of this tournament play. E365, Powerpuff together. KKR now looking to come in behind Myron. This is really good from KKR. Gotta be careful of the team that's on the northwestern island. That's something that could come into play. So Myron need to be careful that they can't disengage too much. They can't disengage very heavily to the coastline. You can see that Capital 9 Accessel has been knocked down. So it's just Scarlet left on her own and not really anywhere near her teammate, while Myron and KKR start to engage on each other. Killer Krew on Rampage. Throwing out the utility. They've gotten closer, but there's no real proper engagement being executed for their side. The blue zone of this Phase 4 is closing in. Scarlet is still the only one that's left alive. No revive so far coming out. You can see that RE, despite having a fantastic rotation, they got punished by the Phase 3 shift, and it's unfortunate. That's why I said I felt sorry for this team. Myron looking behind, gets a kill onto one of the RE players. Now RE looking up the hill at the bottom of the barrel as the next circle has shifted up, and it goes once again to the east. The mainland is in play. Who would have thought on Phase 2 that we'd have a more boot camp circle by Phase 4? This is incredible. Yes, it takes away the Southwest Island, but by God, does it include about 30% of water and the Northwest Island in play. This is so tricky for these teams, and I feel very sorry for them, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. You got to be able to adapt them, and the mentality for the teams, the playstyle for the teams now outside the circle, such as Myron and KKR, should be get as many kills as we can before going down to either the blue zone or a team camping us on the edge of the circle. RE going to be looking to be the one of the teams to do that. Pick up a kill here, pick up a kill there, pick up a kill everywhere. Still 14 teams, 44 players alive. GW looking to move on to the Chungus Mountain and engage onto Voin, while VOD, Veterans of Death, they're veterans of success based on the Game 1 performance that I've seen from them. Moving down the mountain as well, still not in the circle. They're pinched in between two teams, so it's going to be very difficult for them to disengage into the circle. Maybe a heal strat on this kind of shift could be a little bit more valuable for one of these teams. Give all your meds to one player, but for now, GW are committed to this fight around the corner. Mayo misses the mark. He's going to have to try and heal up, but no time to shine. The knock is through. Looking for the confirmation, though. Not quite there, and Veterans of Death, they suffer another casualty, and now they're just left with one player moving down the hill, trying to survive. Baby Doll, the last lone wolf of our team, getting closer to the edge of the circle, at least for the time being. She's surviving. Ruthless HYPE. It comes in. Nice knock on the RE. The pre-fire comes out swinging with the AKM. Switches over to the M4. Gonna loot up 7 first aids. She has 7 first aids. That's important to know, because the more first aids you have in this kind of circle, the better. 5 for Shuva. Like I said, a heal track could be a little bit more advisable. Baby Doll only has 1, so very little cover to come on through, but she picks up the kills on the GW. Incredible play from Baby Doll. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and that was cold as ice from Baby Doll. Veteran of Death, why shouldn't I be surprised that they turned something around in that Phase 5 shift? You just saw it on the sidelines. What the hell? Are we going to have a circle ending? Are we going to have a circle ending? If Game 1 was like, it's 11:30 in the morning. It's too early for me to be living up to this so much hype, but I'm going to do my best. The Soul Reapers don't know what to do. They were committed to this mainland position, right, based on the Phase 4 ship, but Phase 5 just decides to screw them in the back, just like so many of these teams. Valdus still holding on. 1 player left as Phase 5 blue zone is closing in. SYS Picked up the knock on the Benjamin early on. Capital 9 Axe Scarlet onto TSR. Capital 9 Axe still holding on. That's incredible. The side of Party Goddess have committed to the water, but they're going to have to really hold and control onto the edge of the cliffside if they're going to survive in some way, shape, or form. Easier said than done. It's phase 6 shift does go on to the mainland, so you got 50% water, 50% mainland, and a one rock in the middle of the water that's still in the circle. Actually, sorry, it's not really a rock. It's like a tiny little island that can be used by the teams that are on that Northwest Island. E365 are the only team that's on that Northwest Island. They might look to pick up a couple of kills across the way before they try and swim into the water, but we're down to 5 teams, 13 players that are left. SYS, they're probably the team that has the biggest control of this circle. TSR is still up as a duo. That's important to note. The Soul Reapers are still up as a duo. Indeed. 2 kills so far. Urza Mahab and a knock. Party coming through the water. Oh my lord. Party Goddess from Mongolia. The mermaid coming in from the water. Lusciously reaches on up and picks up a kill. You gotta be careful of the fishies in the water, I'll tell you that much. SYS onto Art. It's gonna be difficult. E365 Hex doing what they can. The next circle has once again stuck onto the mainland. The coastal side cliff line from SYS sends one into the water. They've got to be careful though. You can't commit too much. One last player up from ART. E365 Powerpuff has one in the island, one on the cliff side. 4 teams left. Make that 3 as ART do go down. And we're left with E365 Powerpuff, TSR, and SYS. Let's hold it down. Wet it out a little bit. To calm before the final storm of game 2. 365 Hexa. Get to the island. Phase 7 blue zone closes in. They know that she's there, so Nade being cooked up by SYS is pretty good. Doesn't quite go far enough, but I appreciate the effort. 3 more first aids, but Hexa gets knocked down. The play zone is going to do her dirty. Phase 8 shifts over to the mainland, so that pretty much ends Zoda's attempt to move into the next circle and get a chicken dinner for her side. But a top 3 will definitely be a reward for what has been a very crazy SANHOK game. SYS, don't be looking too much in the coastal line. Okay, you do get that kill onto the last player of E365, but now I understand that you want to look in the water, but gotta presume that the last player is in that mainland. There you go. Urza. Listening out for every single footstep. An M249, 147 bullets. If that doesn't take the last player of TSR down, I don't know what will. But she does have the rest of her team up there as support. Euro first aid. Nice pre-knock with the TPP switch over to the M4 now. Looks to wrap around the rock. Comes in for the shots, and that's going to be a kill going over. I'm not going to lie. It's SYS that do come out on top. I wasn't sure if TSR had done the job, but it's a chicken dinner for SYS. The Soul Reapers, the last player up, Urza, did a great job of trying to get that 1v3, but it just proved to be too much. And SYS, they started in boot camp. They ended on the hills outside of boot camp, and they grab the chicken dinner in game number 2. So good. That was a crazy SANHOK game. My full full sympathy goes out to every single one of those teams. The worst thing you can ever hope for in a SANHOK game is a circle shift like that in phase 3. Because the first two were so good for that Northwest Island, right? I was like, yep, we're going to have a Northwest Island finish. Great. Happy days. But then phase 3 is just like, no, screw this. I'm heading back over to the east. And that's where it was just so difficult. If the first two circles had it centered around that trifecta compound, it would have been a lot easier for the teams because there would have been less commitment to one side, a little bit more variability in play. But because of that phase 2, so many teams were committed to that Northwest Island justifiably, genuinely justifiably. And then it decides to yeet away and just kick them all in the face. Man, from a casting point of view, hey, it was hella entertaining. Not gonna lie, the sadistic side of me is standing back and going, yeah, this is hella fun. But I do feel for a lot of the teams, indeed, in this game. Like, Party did a great job once again. Top 5. 2 games in a row, they've had a top 5, so that consistency from them in their 2 games today is really good, and it will kind of bring a bit more security around their finishing in the top 16. Man, so good. But see you soon, Elemental. Let's look at the team stats from that SANHOK game. They got 9 kills, so they definitely did deserve the chicken dinner from a progressive point of view from the amount of kills they got. 24 in total for that game, and that puts them on 25, which I believe puts them in second in the overall standing. So that team stats, see you soon, recovered extremely well from the first game. That's them done for the day, to be fair. So they're going to have to stand back and see where they end up after the third game. But let's move on to the kill leaderboard from this game. Don't know if it's updated. I think that's more from the first game. So you might have to switch on over to another screen. Apologies about that. But we'll wait for the information to be reset. Let's move on over to the match standings of this second game. My apologies. And you can see that See You Soon Elemental getting 24 points. It's 8 more than E365 Powerpuff, so that's really healthy for them. The Soul Reaper is getting 3rd place with only 2 kills, but still 12 placement points is really good. And like I said, Party Goddess with 10 points. That's 2 top 5 finishes. You can't argue with that. Art of Teamwork getting 9 points. Capital 9 Axe with 7. Eternity with 6. And Valdus with 4. Let's move on over to the next page. I see Myron Orion getting 4 kills. Gorkhali with 4. Voin 88 with 3. Ruthless HYPE. I definitely recognize the reaction to the circle shifts from Ruthless HYPE. I don't know how they lost 3 players before we saw them get 1 kill. I don't know what happened to them, but I do see what Ruthless HYPE were going for with the early game reactions. But again, they were just one of the teams that were one of the many teams that were really kind of punished by the massive change in the circle shifting on phase 3. Strong Vault Girls getting 0 points, which is a bit of a feels bad man indeed. But we do have the kill leaders of this second game updated. Let's transition over to it and we'll see who stood out. See you soon, Elemental. Rose getting 4 kills in that game. Hexa of 365 Powerpuff getting 4 kills. I really recognize what Hexa was doing. Her aggression and her proactivity, definitely worthwhile. Vanilla from See You Soon with 3 kills. Ina from Art getting 3 kills. And Not Bells from RE with 3 kills. Those are your top 5 for the kills. Really good stuff indeed. Yeah, that game too was great. Really healthy. Cannot argue with it in terms of how some of the teams dealt with the circle shift. But I'm hoping for a lot easier game number 3, We're going to be going over to Miramar. Once again, we're going to have 2 different groups facing up against each other. I believe it's Group B and Group C, if I'm not mistaken. There you go, Group B and Group C. The producer in my ear. Also, on a side note, yeah, Group B and Group C. Also, on a side note, massive love and shout out to everybody behind the scenes. You got to understand that there's a group of awesome, amazing people behind the scenes in this Ruthless HYPE Invitational, Ladies Invitational Pro League. I'm just a guy behind the mic, all the amazing people behind the camera, production, observers, organizers. These are all absolutely amazing. Let's go to a bit of a break, and we'll be back on your screen for game number 3, the final game of the day.
Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down. Fold it up, we gon' burn it down.
Welcome back to the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. This is day number 1 of a 2-week stint. My name's Imperium. Thank you so much for joining us. So far, we've had 2 games down. We've got 1 more to go. It's going to be groups B and C battling it out for the first time in this international invitational tournament. I'm hyped. Game 2 was absolutely crazy. Well, one thing that I need to point out, which I'm not going to lie, I didn't completely recognize, and my apologies. See you soon, Elemental, that won that last game. They're the only Cambodian team in this invitational, and they won. The only Cambodian team won the game in SANHOK. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cambodian team representing magnificently, getting the chicken dinner for their country. It's absolutely kick-ass to see. Really, really kick-ass to see. Of course, you know, the circles in SANHOK were crazy and it really negatively affected a lot of the teams, of course. At the end of the day, they got 9 kills. They got the job done. And it goes to show you that, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, what country you're from. Every community or every country's community has a chance to show up on the big stage or on the stage against other countries. There might be a smaller pool of top teams in some countries, but when you're talking about the best of each country, they're able to battle against each other fairly and nicely, and it's just really good to see that kind of representation. Again, you know, I've been able to commentate lots of international tournaments where I've seen teams from countries and regions that haven't really been as heavily represented in that stage before, and yeah, it's so easy to get behind that, you know, that kind of underdog team, so to speak, or that less represented team in that moment. So I'm fully behind See You Soon in this invitational. I'm also, to be fair, I'm behind all the teams because I absolutely love supporting PUBG Mobile Esports and all the teams, casting or not. But definitely a special place for like teams that are from a country or they're the only team from that country in this kind of tournament. So massive love. But we move on over to game number 3. We're getting the players loaded in. We're going to have Group B and Group C. I say, can we have a look at the overall standings to see where teams are across the first 2 games so far? Just so that we know what's going down in terms of who is where. Switch it on over. We will see after 2 games. Party Goddess hold on to the top spot with 29 points. Yet to get a chicken dinner. But that's still really good consistency. That's like 40.5 points per game. That's a fantastic average without a chicken dinner. You can see 16 placement points, 13 kill points. See You Soon Elemental, of course, they've had their 2 games. They've got one of them being a chicken dinner. 24 of those 25 points in 1 game. But you know what? You still take it. 10 placement points. Sorry, 10 kill points, 15 placement points. Infinity Ladies, though, I'm looking at them. They've only had 1 game and they're already in 3rd with 22 points. So they only need 7 points to climb up ahead of Party Goddess and first. So to me, they're in a good spot. Now, it doesn't really matter whether or not they finish first. But for me, it's very much about creating that cushion. So coming into tomorrow's 2 games, you have that extra security of if you have a bad game or a bad day, you're still in the top 16. Let's move on to the next page to see who, at least for the time being, is in the top 16. For Voin 88 Girls, Capital 9 Axe, and Gorkhali Warriors, they've all played their 2 games and they're on 11, 11, and 7 respectfully. For Art of Teamwork, 2OP, 88 Ladies, and Myron Orion, they still have 1 game to go, so they have an opportunity to kind of close that cushion as we're getting into the game, let's move on to the third page so we can see really who has it all to do. Who has it all to do. 3M, Street Ready, Victor Gaming, Ruthless HYPE, Killer Krew on Rampage, Yocto, Strong Vault Girls. I don't know if Victim Reaper are actually going to play in this game. They didn't play in the second SANHOK game. It seems like they are. So Victim Reaper, they all have it all to play for, especially Yocto and Strong Vault Girls, because they're currently on 0 points out of the one game they have played. As I said, Group B and Group C coming up on your screens very soon. We're heading over to Miramar. Let's get this show on the road, baby. Miramar is a swinging. The plane path going from the very north, well, a little bit of a northwest over to a more easterly direction. So, of course, if you're dropping in Chumacera, Valdemar, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Monte Nuevo, massively accessible. Then you have kind of Cruz Val, Torre Armada, Al Azahar, all great areas to go on this game 3. Myron going to be going around the ruins direction, it seems. So they're going for an early drop. You have YCT in La Cabrera. Seems like UNF are going to be going to Torre Armada for the time being. Killer Krew on Rampage. El Pozo is their destination, it seems. Or maybe Crater Fields. If it's Crater Fields, I don't know what I think about a Crater Fields drop. You know, I don't think I'm a fan of Crater Fields as a drop spot if they're heading there. We'll have to wait and see. 2 OP. One of the 2 Indian invited teams dropping towards Cruz Val, but they have a team with them for the time being. Fada, Blackswan, Swan a little bit north of their team right now, of those 2 teams right now. Yeah, KKR are heading to El Pozo. It's not Crater Fields, thank God. Phase 1 has popped up, and it's on the east. It kind of low-key complements the plane path, but there is automatically, you can see right now, there's automatically a lot more cluster of teams by that southwestern edge of the circle, whether it is Art of Teamwork from Mongolia, whether it is 3M girls from Vietnam, whether it's I believe there's another team in there as well. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Yeah, indeed. 2 teams in Picado. Woohoo, let's go. VTM on board along with the side of 3M in Picado. So let's have a little bit of an oversight of where both the teams are within this city and who looks to have a bit of a better spread. Right now, I think 3M have a better spread. They've opened things up. Bow onto Roses is a good start for them. And look at the flank coming out from one of the 3M players. Don't oversend it, Bow. Confirm the kill. Happy days. Try and heal up in time. Bong with the UMP as well, playing it out. That's what I'm talking about. El Chan flanking on the side is incredibly valuable for the rest of our team and will allow them to maybe push a bit more aggressively. Again, they have that body advantage automatically. VTM might look to disengage away if they see fit, if they feel like the opportunity is there. Okay, we'll have to wait and see how they look to play things out. Pinky inside the apartment buildings. Okay, you just got a vehicle and that's going to make it easy to be spotted out, and El Chan knows that. One close by, and that's going to hurt VTM. It's important though that Chan, to me, doesn't push this on her own. Needs to wait for the support from one of her teammates. To be fair, there's no point in going in on this in a 1v1 when you already have the body advantage. Don't make it easier for VTM to come back into this game. Oh, now the rest of VTM are coming through from apartments, so I definitely appreciate that. The Uzi spray on the peak from the side of the building just to suppress the players of 3M a little bit more heavily. Now the three ladies spread from 3M as they look to support their teammate Lacham. Around the side of the building, you have one still inside the big arena providing backfire cover. I really do like that, but it's important that they bait VTM rather than being super aggressive. Nice knock instantly being started by 3M onto another one of the VTM players. That's going to put them down to 2 active ladies in this fight. Another one from 3M. The spread is fantastic. The response is immense. And now there's just one more player in front of them. They know where she is in through the window. A couple of them are going to push in through the door, but one in through the window covering the fire from behind. Now 2 up the stairs. Not really much that she can do even with an M249. That is 3M getting the squad wipe to open things up on Miramar. 5.5 minutes in, and we've seen a squad go down. I like this aggression from the likes of 3M. It's a massive smile on my face, and we're moving over to another fight straight away. This is PUBG Mobile, baby. 2 OP going up against VG. Lucy gets knocked down. Masty is going to be taken down as well. It's not looking good for the VG crew, to be fair. 2 OP from India, showing the Indian pride across the board, and just like that, now you see me. Now you don't. VG are out and back into the lobby early on in this game 3. Great play by 2 OP. Fantastic squad wipe straight out onto the board. Victor Gaming from Mongolia not having a good start. It's Ruthless HYPE Ladies Pro Invitational. Oh man, I love this. Hey, let's settle down a little bit. We've had a lot of action early on in this game, and we can have a bit of an overview on where these teams are standing. Infinity are still looting up the Pozo region. They've got a bit of a journey to head into the edge of the circle, so maybe taking their time is something that they'll want to pull off. I find it a little bit interesting, though, that the side of Unfaedah Blackswan are still quite heavily on the north and northeastern side of the circle. To me, they had a fantastic opportunity of kind of rotating a little bit earlier and sending it down on towards the El Azahar Hill, kind of maybe behind 2 OP. Now they can still do that, but I think the timing of that rotation is just a little bit too slow. And one of them is still looting up, and that's just really not the best. Art of Teamwork are pretty much in the dead center of the circle for the time being. I like RE's position on the Minas Generalis hillside because it gives them a lot of vantage points on the kind of northern half of the circle. Ling is on Graveyard, so it's a lovely kind of 3-lady spread for the RE. Krew, because it allows them to look a little bit behind them while still covering towards the center of the circle, so I really like that. Ruthless HYPE traveling through the southern side of the circle up through the east of Minas Generalis, maybe gonna look to put themselves onto the junkyard / El Azahar Hills for this phase 1, but we are moving into phase 2 very soon. 3M still in Picado does make sense based on the engagement that they had, and phase 2 shifts over to the east. And Ruthless HYPE, I think they should still prioritize Junkyard Hill. There's a bit of a compound there. They can create a controlling spread, plus they're one of the first teams there, but maybe they're going to stop where they are, dead in the tracks to the east of Minas, center of the circle. It's also a great shift for side of Asphalt down the south of Impala for the time being. Phase 2 shifted up 2 minutes until the blue zone starts closing in. We see an engagement between YCT and KKR entering into the circle. Actually, sorry, not entering into the circle. If anything, it's kind of outside the blue zone, and YCT suffering a couple of casualties as KKR rotating as a full squad will benefit from that in terms of getting the revives up on to their team as a full squad. So YCT really not rotating together and they pay the price. When you're rotating through Miramar, give or take, I'd always recommend rotating together. Rotating as a full team, especially in the early circles, because of how harsh it can be rotating through Miramar. Having that kind of full squad support off the back of a knock or even a double knock is very valuable. Art of teamwork being suppressed by a little bit by the side of RE. You also have, I believe, the side of 88 ladies in a little bit towards the members of RE and Art of Teamwork. I like that junkyard deal side from Art of Teamwork. That's what I recommended for the side of Ruthless HYPE. Nice to see a bolt action being played out. Doesn't quite connect onto the 88 ladies. Their vehicle's blown up, so for the time being, they're probably going to have to stay where they are. Still 25 seconds until the blue zone starts to close in. Infinity coming in through Hacienda del Patron. They're going to be wrapping around the two remaining YCT players. But because YCT are down to 2, they're less likely to play aggressively, but the opportunity to try and pick up a kill is definitely there, and they do find a knock onto one of the Infinity players. Remember, Infinity, I believe, are 3rd overall in the standings with only one game, either 3rd or 4th, so they have the opportunity to end day 1 of the first week of league play on top of the standings. It will give them a lot of confidence. Oh my lord! We didn't quite see the individual player's perspective, but that M24 headshot. Oh, mwah, chef's kiss. Even I felt that headshot. Lovely play. The revive's being laid out. I don't know if Infinity are going to be able to do anything with that in terms of the engagement, but maybe getting the revive on the Palmy could be pulled off. Easier said than done. In my opinion, they need to go for this engagement onto YCT because YCT are behind them. And if the circle goes over to the east, they're still going to be behind Infinity. And I'll always say, you're much better off covering and taking out a team behind you than focusing too much on a team behind. Another knock on the Bella of YCT should open that door for Infinity to push in. Now, they might not have the information on how many of the YCT players are left up, right? That's the thing that we have to think about. So they could be afraid to push it, thinking that it's 3 players, maybe 4. But the fact that they were able to turn that around, stop the player being taken out, is really valuable. Blue Zone of Phase 2 is closing in. KKR kind of coming in behind these two teams. You also have SR into the mix as well, so a bit of a three-way dance, and Infinity look to disengage away, and oh my lord, the rotation is not going to be good. It's street ready from the PAL, looking to punish Infinity, and Berlin gets taken down. Zayani is the one to pull that one off, down to 3. It's like Infinity can't catch a break, but let's see if they can. Palmy with the shot that's going to hit the rock rather than hitting that player, and oh, a little bit of a mistake from Palmy, tries to prone down in time. Her teammates aren't really close by. They're separated due to the fact that they were trying to disengage, and there is even another team into the mix with KKR in play. Oh man, nice wraparound from KKR. Seems like they're not looking for the fight. They would have heard the shots between Street Relly and Infinity. So not getting involved, I gotta, you know, give them credit for. Street Relly pushes in, gets another knock on the Palmy. That's gonna be a confirmed kill, puts Infinity down to 2. Honestly, kind of the best Infinity could have hoped for. Maybe not really their fault, but a product of the initial engagement. Who knows? Maybe they should have disengaged as a 3-woman team when they initially got knocked by one of the YCT players, right? That's something that you got to think about. That sometimes it's better just to leave one of your players go down and move on as a 3-person team, whereas now they're down to 2 because they tried to go, and they did, of course, go for the revive, but that wasted a lot of time. Either way, we're moving on. The next circle shifted massively to the east, and the double El Azhar hills are absolutely hot property in this board, and that's why the members of S Vault, Strong Vault girls, are being put under pressure by 3M on the South El Azhar hills. Nice nade, goes a little bit to the south of the S Vault player. Holds him back for the time being. 3M need to be very careful because they are very heavily at risk of being third party from behind. They have no real back end cover. They're on the side of the hill. There's no real disengagement potential if a team comes in behind them right now. That's looking towards to be Ruthless HYPE. Ruthless HYPE are going to have to deal with Myron behind them on the southern edge of the circle, so they might have to play it a little bit passively in that regard. That 3-1 spread is pretty healthy. Now Ruthless HYPE shooting up towards the players of Myron. Nice buy. Pima. Just to push Myron away, send them in another direction, create more space for you entering into the phase 4 circle. We're only moving into phase 4, 14 teams left, 50 players alive. We've had 2 squad wipes so far in this game. We started with all 16. 3M, what did I say about 3M? They were at risk of being third party, and it is a team that does start to engage upon them. Street Rally trying to move in. They're in a shack of doom. Not really in the best spot to hold on to. Well, Unfaedah, Blackswan from Indonesia. One of their players is knocked down. Less likely for it to be revived. But we see a shift on phase 4. Please just show the map right now. It's this circle shift. Is it the caster curse? Is it the caster curse? Do you want to play me? Honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it because that shift onto El Azhar, you very rarely see an urban finish in Miramar. But we have a massive phase 4 shift right into the heart of the city. Yes, the hill to the west, the hill to the north is possible to hold on to, but I definitely understand on phase 4 why the likes of Art of Teamwork are committing right into the center of the city. 88 picks up 1 kill on the rotating YCT. Another player down. That's going to be YCT suffering a blunt of hell. And down they go. YCT are wiped out. 13 teams now left in this lobby. Risky rotation. Desperate times call for desperate measures rotation from YCT. I don't think they needed to do that because if you're very far outside the circle and you're down to a duo, just play on the blue zone of phase 4 and look to maybe pick off a kill or 2 in a third-party perspective. Royal Eternity, bloodrain, send it down to the southern edge of El Azhar, as do Sorry, not SY, but SV, Strong Vault girls. 2 OP in the heart of the city along with Art of Team. So the 2 Indian teams opting for El Azhar position, which I honestly don't mind. Myron wrapping around. They were pushed in this direction by Ruthless HYPE. Remember that. They were pushed in that direction by Ruthless HYPE. Ruthless HYPE did go for a bit of a deeper wrap around on towards the northeastern edge of the circle. That hillside that I highlighted is still possible to hold on to, but you really need to be proactive. You have teams like 3M looking to come in on towards the eastern side of the city. Come on, Ruthless HYPE, you gotta be looking in there. You got a shack. You got a minivan rotating in. They're able to get away for the time being, and Ruthless HYPE not able to find a shot on 3M. Survive as a trio. Myron suffers 1 casualty, I believe, to the blue zone. Indeed it was. They're down to 3. Less likely the revive is going to be played out. And we see a northwestern shift on phase 5. That phase 5 shift, I take full responsibility. I apologize, teams. I expect a lot of hate messages on my Instagram after this day's games. I wouldn't be surprised. I apologize, ladies, because that phase 5 shift is insane. KKR now taking a bit of a fight. They're forced to against the side of Ruthless HYPE. They got 1 knock, but 2 of their players are down. 1 is confirmed. Spicy's still knocked out, but there is a chance that she can get revived. I don't think you should be going for the revive. Majestic has been pulled off and back up onto her feet. A lovely nade gets a knock on the superset. Now Moon is left on her own. Play out the revive on the superset. Ruthless HYPE should be pushing forward. It's now or never. I know there's a chance of being third-partied. If there's a chance of being third-partied, still somewhat commit, then back away as much as you can, or allow a team around you to third-party against your opponents. That's exactly what's going to happen. Berry on the Spicy and Ruthless HYPE, and that squad wipe on the KKR. That has alerted the attention, though, of course, of Street Rallies to move out of the shack. That's the circle that I'm talking about. Just shifts massively to that kind of western El Azhar hill. 88 are on the edge. Nobody's on top of the hill for the time being, just simply because of the fact that so many teams committed into the El Azhar city. S-Vault down to 2. Looking for another, but my lord, as she climbs on top of the vehicle, a bit of a mistake being made, and RE are going to clean that up. 0 kills so far for them, but they are camping on the edge of the circle. It's very difficult because you have the team around them as well. The next shift goes over to the northeast. What is it with these circles shifts today? Can't stick in one area. They've got ants in their pants, these circles. They're going from one side to the other, a ping pong play for these circles, but it's creating a hell of a lot of entertainment for me, for the viewers. It's punishing for the teams. 88 ladies. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. The 88 ladies on the Miramar train. They're going to have to push it in. Ruthless HYPE have been gifted the circle. Still one of their players is knocked down, is back up onto her feet. Got to be careful of 3M on the other side of the circle. On the very eastern side, 3M are close by to Ruthless HYPE. 88 ladies covering their ground. Misaka onto RE. That's really good for Art of War. 2 OP still going strong. 5 kills so far for 2 OP. 5 kills in this game. Still up as a full squad. You got a couple of players of Art in the round, and you got the dip to the side of the road, which is protecting them for the time being. And they do have one anchored into the edge of the circle, but it's going to be easier said than done for them to survive against the likes of Artists. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 2 OP. Can't really deal with that too much. They do clap back onto a member of Art, so it's traded quite nicely, but that's not going to be easy for them. RE coming in from behind, going for a third party, but down. They go at the hands of 3M. Great play by 3M, punishing their teams around them. 2 OP. Still holding on to the dip of the road. It means they're not going to be third party. There's one more player of Ireland for the Ruthless HYPE. Maybe you heard the shots of 3M down below. They are indeed going to look to push down the hill and engage onto the members of 3M. Great play by Ruthless HYPE. Still up as a full squad. Art, the last player standing in the smoke, had not been spotted by 2 OP. Oh my god. 2 OP. That could be the end of your journey in this game if you allow yourself to get backstabbed like that. They pass from high. Getting revived up. Misaka's still going on. 4 teams left, 12 players alive. Ruthless HYPE suffer another casualty, another knockdown. It's only Palma that has full health, and she's going to need a medic off the side. So close. So close. 2 OP. I believe they still hold on to the edge of the circle, but they send purple across the road. That's risky, but I absolutely love it. Street Rally from Nepal in the final 4. You've got Mongolian team, art of teamwork. You got 2 Nepal teams and Ruthless HYPE. and Street Rally, and then you got 2OP and AD representatives pushing in. Street Rally suffer one casualty. Bibaz is knocked down. Ruthless HYPE can't deal with the bottom of the hill. Haiti trying to heal up in time. Will she be able to get a first aid off? No, she won't. Down she goes. And that's the end of Ruthless HYPE. Be punished by the hillside, and 2OP. Just one more art of teamwork in front of him. Down he goes, and Street Rally are their last victims in front. Barry and Monica get the heal off onto Jay. It's 4v3. 2OP have played this game wonderfully. They started this game with a squad wipe. They had 5 kills coming into this phase 6. They committed to El Azahar, but they've come out of it stronger. Let's go Hulk mode. Wrap around Victy on the high ground above. Yankee, Purple, and Sakura sticking together. Purple goes a little bit closer. A lovely nade on board. Purple OP on the berry. Trying to play at the low ground. Jay's knocked down. Monica is left on her own. Can't really peek too much. A full push comes in. And that is 2 OP Esports getting the chicken dinner for game 3 of the day. So good from 2OP. The amount of kills they got proves the justification in that chicken dinner. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 kills for 2OP. Fully deserved, like massively deserved across the board from them. You really can't go wrong. The way they played it, they were aggressive, they were intelligent, they were proactive. I thought the last player of Art of Teamwork might get a bit of a backstab, but that timing just wasn't laid out for the last player of Art of Teamwork, and then the blue zone was really kind of a bad punishing blow. But just that kind of, I think it was phase 6, where 2OP had the very edge of the circle by the other side of the road on the El Azahar side. You'd be surprised how many teams would be afraid to cross that road. But 2OP weren't. They sent one across to begin with initially, which was risky. But the fact that you're sending one across is the intention to control that late game. And that intention to control the late game was absolutely both justified and rewarded. Ruthless HYPE did good, but maybe weren't as aggressive or as controlling as they could have been, or as they should have been. And because 2OP were the first to push across the road as one player, they're able to really take advantage of that. Shoot Ready did good. Second place for them. We won't hold that against them at all. It was a fantastic result. They also got 6 kills. But, you know, the reason why I talk about Ruthless HYPE maybe not being as controlling and aggressive is because they only got 4 kills. You know, to me, they had kind of opportunities to take out 3M to push down onto the hill. And I know hindsight is 2020 and it's easier said than done. It's quite difficult at times. But when you have an area in the circle, you can't presume that you're going to have the next circle in your favor. You can't presume that you're going to have the next shift in your favor. You really got to control the area around you a little bit more heavily so that when the next shift comes and it moves away, you have a lot more room to play in. Difficult circle, shift from phase 4 to phase 5, going from the center of El Azahar back over to the massive Western Mountain. And then when we had the phase 5 to phase 6 going back up the northeast, like I said, you know what? I'll take the blame for those circle shifts across the 3 games. They weren't easy to deal with. You can blame me. Feel free to message me on Instagram and give me a load of hate. I'll take it. I'll accept it. But very entertaining last game, and the 3 games as a whole were just really a joy to watch, a joy to cast. Let's look at the team stats from 2OP Esports as they won game 3 in Miramar. 15 kills they got, 30 points in that game alone. That puts them on 34 total. That's why I said for the team, they were one of the teams that were down at the kind of the bottom standings, right, with only 4 points. That puts them in first overall, at least from what I can see in front of me. Maybe that's a bit of a spoiler. Who knows? But it just shows that kind of that massive turnaround game that is always possible for these kind of teams is really important. Really, really important indeed. Moving on to the kill leaderboard. It Yankee from 2OP with 5 kills. Joy B of 88 Ladies with 4 kills. So they may have only finished in 6th place, but they did pick up 6 kills, with Joy B getting 4 of those. Jay from Street Ready getting 4. Purple from 2OP getting 4 kills. And Bang from 3M with 3 kills. I've been pretty impressed with 3M, to be fair, across these games, the 2 games that they played so far. So I really, really give them a lot of credit for that, and I'm not surprised to see one of their players in the top kill leaderboards. Really beneficial stuff. Let's look at the overall kill leaderboards of today's games. Mimic on 6 kills. That's your kill leader of today's 2 games. Veteran of Death, I believe she got that in 1 game. So definitely yet to be topped. Yankee DG getting 5 kills again, secure from that 1 game from 2OP. SYS See You Soon Elemental Babe Rhodes with 5 kills, an average of 2.5 per game. Then Victoria from Party Goddess in 4th, and Joy B of 88 is going to be your 5th place kill leaderboard. It's only 1 game. To be fair, all teams have only played 2 games, so I'm curious to see who's going to be on top after tomorrow's games as well. Moving on to the match standings from this game alone. It's not the overall standings, just the match standings from this match 3. 2OP, 30 points, like I said, 15 kills, 15 placement points. A perfect game. Like, genuinely, I don't say that often, but a near perfect game. I really can't see how they could have gotten, let's say, more kills, right? Considering they kind of committed to El Azahar. To come out of El Azahar and win the game is really strong, and they deserve so much more respect for that. Street Ready getting 18 kills. Are the team working 14. Ruthless HYPE again, only 4 kills with that 4th place. 12 points is a good turnaround, to be fair, but I know there's more in this Ruthless HYPE team. 3M I've been impressed with. They get 12 points in that game. 88 Ladies with 10. And then there's a massive drop from 6 to 7, from 10 points to 3 points. So let's move on to the second page and see the lack of points that the teams below would have gotten, because Killer Krew only getting 3, Infinity Ladies only getting 2, Myron, Orion, and Infinity Ladies. That was really, you know, and again, it was even more hindsight for me as well, that Infinity Ladies shouldn't have gone for the revive. They should have just taken the loss and moved into the circle. They would have been far more beneficial. It would have been far more beneficial, and they would have benefited a lot more from that than Victim Reaper ending the day with 0 points along with Victor Gaming. So a poor end of the day for those 2 teams, along with the likes of E365. Overall standings. I'm ready to have a look. Are you ready to have a look? I sure hope you are. It's indeed. Let's throw it to the overall standings. We already had a little bit of a sneak peek. 2OP topping the tables after day number 1 of the league play with 34 points in 2 games played. That's an average of around 17 points. There you go. 17 points per game. Quick math for you right there. 19 placement points, 15 kill points. Party Goddess, though, to be fair, big plus, because they're really the only team in my eyes to have 2 consistent results, at least in terms of the top 4, top 5. All the other teams had 1 very good game, or 1 very decent game, and 1 okay/1 poor game. Street Ready, Veteran of Death, and Soul Reapers all in 6th, 7th, and 8th. So 3 Nepal teams in the top 8. You have 1 Mongolian, 1 Cambodian, 1 from Thailand, and of course the Indian team holding on to the top spot. Let's move on to the next page, 9th to 16th. E365 Powerpuff with 17 points. Valdus with 16. Gorkhali Warriors in 16th. They currently hold on to the 16th place spot after one day. But Capital 9 Axe, who've been very aggressive, you can see 1 placing point and 10 kill points. To be fair, same as Gorkhali, 11 points in total. They're on the same, only 2 points behind Ruthless HYPE as we move on to the third page and see which teams really need to step it up coming into the second day of league play. Victim Reaper and Yocto. Victim Reaper have only played 1 game, but they scored 0 points in that game. So 0 points for them. And for Yocto from Mongolia, man, it's tough because they've only got 2 games now to really make a massive impact. They're 11 points behind 16th. So that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. But when you have 6, 7, 8 teams in front of them who are also vying for the top 16, and then the teams in terms of 15th, 14th, 13th who are looking to obviously protect their spot in the top 16, it's going to be very, very difficult for Yocto. But anything is possible. Looking at the head-to-head, though, that I do want to shine a bit of light on is between 2OP and the Party Goddess. 34 to 29, this is the top 2, 15 placement points against 13, 19 to 16. And as I said, 2OP, yes, they've gotten the chicken dinner, but Party Goddess have been a lot more consistent in the 2 games. So right now, initially coming into tomorrow, I have to say Party Goddess is the team that kind of looks out for me, stands out for me in terms of ending tomorrow's games on top. But then again, with 2OP ending the day with a chicken dinner, that's going to give them a lot of confidence coming into tomorrow's games, right? That's going to give them a lot of kind of value and just a lot of ability of saying, hey, we have what it takes. Plus, one thing we have to think about is the fact that some of these teams have played in MIRAMAR and SANHOK. Some of these teams have played MIRAMAR and ERANGEL. Some of these teams have played at SANHOK and MIRAMAR. So I'm curious, will 2OP, who, as far as I know, who have not played an ERANGEL game, will they do good in ERANGEL tomorrow? Is that their map? We'll have to wait and find out. A little bit more of a sharper overview on 2OP, though, and to give a bit of a deeper insight into how they've been playing. The 34 points in total. Yeah, let's move on to that graphic, please. 2OP with a total of 34 points, 15 kills, 1 chicken dinner, 19 placement points, and 7.5 points per game. At the end of the day, the numbers speak volumes. The stats speak volumes in terms of their ability to turn this game around. It's so good. It's so valuable to see. And like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better game from 2OP. Couldn't have asked for a better turnaround, to be fair. But that was game 1, or should I say day 1 of the Ruthless HYPE Ladies Invitational Pro League. There's so much more to come. You got tomorrow's league day games where all 24 of these teams are going to play 2 games each. We're going to have 3 more games for you guys in which the top 16 teams will be secured for the upcoming Super Weekend. The Super Weekend are going to be 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on your screens. And it's going to be absolutely kick-ass. So for tomorrow, good luck to all the teams that are going to be playing. For today, thank you for showing up, showing out. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in and supporting the stream, supporting this tournament. Everybody in the back line that's putting in all the work. These are absolutely amazing. My name's IMPERIUM. I hope you enjoyed my casting. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah. Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah,